Hollywood has long been a place of dreams, fame, and fortune, but behind the glitz and glamour lies a darker truth. Many of its brightest stars have fallen victim to the grip of drug addiction, battling demons that fame alone could never silence. From tragic overdoses to shocking scandals and, in some cases, inspiring comebacks. These stories remind us that addiction knows no boundaries. Today, we uncover the struggles of 10 well-known celebrities whose lives were forever changed by substance abuse. Number 10. Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars, the celebrated record producer, singer, and songwriter, has enchanted fans worldwide with chart-topping hits. His immense popularity earned him recognition among Forbes' highest-paid artists globally. However, even success could not shield him from personal struggles. In September 2010, at the Hard Rock Casino in Las Vegas, 26-year-old Bruno was found in possession of cocaine. Though he described it as his first time using drugs and admitted his actions were foolish, he later confessed in interviews that he had not been entirely truthful. As part of a plea deal, he paid a $2,000 fine, performed 200 hours of community service, and promised to stay out of legal trouble for a year in exchange for having the charges dropped. Bruno later admitted that his mistakes stemmed from being young and intoxicated. Number 9. River Phoenix. River Phoenix was one of the most promising young actors of his generation. Known for his talent and sensitivity, he also pursued a career in music. However, his life was tragically cut short by drugs. In October 1993, shortly after filming in Utah, River returned to Los Angeles and spent several days on a drug binge with his band members. On the night of October 30th, he went to the Viper Room, a nightclub owned partly by Johnny Depp. He confided to a friend that he felt unwell and feared he had overdosed, but the seriousness of his condition was overlooked. Moments later, he collapsed outside the club while his girlfriend and friends watched in horror. Despite being alive when paramedics arrived, efforts to save him failed, and River Phoenix was pronounced dead at 1:51 a.m. on October 31st, 1993. He was only 23 years old. Number 8. Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy, a beloved actress who starred in Clueless, Freeway, and voiced roles in Happy Feet, was admired for her bubbly screen presence. Yet, behind the camera, she faced her own battles. In December 2009, at just 32 years old, Britney suddenly passed away. Initial reports suggested natural causes. Rumors swirled that she had been using heroin and cocaine. Her fragile appearance in the early 2000s sparked speculation that she was struggling with substance abuse. Britney also endured a troubled marriage to Simon Monjack, whose mysterious death occurred just 5 months after hers. Investigators later discovered various prescription drugs at her bedside, and the coroner concluded that her death was linked to overdose complications. While disputes about the exact cause of her passing continue, her story remains a heartbreaking example of how Hollywood pressure and addiction can intertwine to devastating effect. Number 7. Britney Spears. Britney Spears, the Princess of Pop, revolutionized teen music in the late 1990s and early 2000s. She became one of the most influential entertainers of her generation. However, her personal life took a sharp downward turn as she struggled with drugs and mental health. The unraveling began after her divorce from Kevin Federline in 2006. Her erratic behavior, rehab visits, and shocking public breakdowns dominated global headlines. Reports emerged of her substance abuse, including allegations of suicide attempts and disturbing claims that she once referred to herself as the Antichrist. Eventually, Britney was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and entered structured treatment programs. Britney's resilience in facing addiction and mental health challenges continues to inspire fans, but her story remains one of both caution and hope. Number 6. Daniel Baldwin. Daniel Baldwin, the second oldest of the famous Baldwin brothers, rose to fame as an actor, but was soon overshadowed by his battles with addiction. His struggles with cocaine were particularly severe. In 1998, he made headlines after running naked through the halls of New York's Plaza Hotel, shouting his own name. Police arrested him for cocaine possession, and he later pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct, resulting in a 3-month stay in rehab. Daniel revealed that his addiction began in 1989, the same year he landed his first acting job at age 29. Unlike many addicts, he did not drink heavily or smoke, but cocaine consumed his life. He entered rehabilitation 9 separate times before finally achieving sobriety. Number 5. Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's childhood was far from the fairy tale many imagined. Born into a famous acting family, she became a star at age 7 with E.T. the Extraterrestrial. But her early exposure to Hollywood's party culture pushed her down a dangerous path. By the age of 7, Drew was already drinking alcohol. By 12, she was using drugs. And at 13, she attempted suicide, leading to her hospitalization. Her mother had taken her to nightclubs like Studio 54, exposing her to a lifestyle far too adult for a child. At 14, Drew legally emancipated herself from her parents and survived by cleaning bathrooms while fighting to stay sober. Despite relapses, she eventually overcame her struggles with the support of friends, including Cameron Diaz. Today, Drew Barrymore has built a successful career as an actress, producer, and talk show host, proving that it is possible to rise from the ashes of early addiction. Number 4. Judy Garland. Judy Garland, remembered forever as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, was one of Hollywood's most iconic stars. Behind her dazzling voice and timeless performances, however, was a life of torment shaped by addiction. Signed by MGM as a teenager, Judy was placed under strict studio control. She was forced to follow a harsh diet, given amphetamines to keep her working long hours, and sedatives to help her sleep. Even before she turned 17, Judy had already developed a dependency on drugs. Though adored by millions, she suffered repeated nervous breakdowns and became a full-blown addict. Her fragile health worsened over the years, and in June 1969, at the age of 47, Judy Garland tragically died of a drug overdose. Her death marked the loss of a woman whose talent was unmatched, but whose life had been exploited and destroyed by the very system that made her a star. Number 3. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, the timeless star of Hollywood's golden age, epitomized beauty and charm. But her private life told a much darker story. Behind the glamorous image, Marilyn wrestled with depression, loneliness, and addiction. As her career advanced, she relied heavily on alcohol and barbiturates to cope with anxiety and the pressures of fame. Her personal writings later revealed deep insecurity and profound sadness. On August 5, 1962, she was found dead in her Brentwood home. The coroner ruled her death as acute barbiturate poisoning, likely an overdose. She was only 36 years old. Her tragic end reflected the crushing weight of public scrutiny and personal despair. Even today, her words, "It's a terrible thing to be lonesome, especially in the middle of a crowd," echo the isolation she felt despite worldwide adoration. Number 2. Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, shocked the world when he died in 1977 at the age of 42. Once full of life and energy, Elvis had become bloated and ill in his later years due to an overwhelming addiction to prescription drugs. His toxicology report revealed a lethal mix of opioids and sedatives, including codeine, Demerol, and Quaaludes. While he sometimes substituted placebos, Elvis's demands for medication only deepened his addiction. The tragedy is heightened by the irony that Elvis once prided himself on an anti-drug image, even receiving a badge from President Richard Nixon for his stance. Number 1. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, remains one of the most influential cultural icons of all time. Yet his final years were plagued by addiction. His struggles began in 1984 after a Pepsi commercial accident left him with severe burns. To manage the pain, doctors prescribed opioids, which led to long-term dependency. Though Michael entered rehab in 1993 and went through a 12-step program, he never fully escaped his battle with drugs. Friends and family tried interventions, but Michael often denied he had a problem. In 2009, at the age of 50, he died from cardiac arrest caused by an overdose of sedatives and propofol, an anesthetic administered by his doctor to help him sleep. That physician was later convicted of involuntary manslaughter. These struggles illustrate that addiction does not discriminate. It affects the rich and the poor, the unknown and the world-famous alike. Behind every dazzling performance and every red carpet smile lies a human being who may be fighting silent battles. Hollywood may shine on the outside, but these stories reveal the harsh reality behind the spotlight.